What is going on, folks? Welcome back to Scarlet and Great here on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining us, folks. We have a loaded show today, and we're going to unpack the official new announcement of the coaching change in the offensive line coach, Coach out. Many of you are pleased with that, but we wish him well. He spent good time here at Ohio State. Probably time to move on. And Justin Frye, the offensive coordinator and offensive line coach, is in. Now coaching the offensive line for Ohio State. Cory and I will unpack that. We'll talk about more coaching staff changes likely to come, what it means. And we also got some rumor mill about who else is coming and a big boom that we are going to talk about, a recruitment, a get for the Ohio State Buckeyes, a big boom. And Cory and I are going to go ahead and unpack that. Real quick, I just want to say you guys have been absolutely awesome and helping us grow this channel last week. It's close to 30,000 views, I think, last week. For us, that is fantastic. The subscriptions are through the roof. I am very, very happy. Cory's happy. Shane Larson, the partner of ours, is very happy. Thank you so much for doing that. If you're a huge Buckeye fan, continue to help us grow. We're going to continue to give you great content, have fun with you guys all off season into the next season. So I ask you, please, let me know how you're feeling about this coaching staff. Comment below. 1 through 10, how excited are you for the new coaching staff that we have in place and are likely to put in place? Please comment below. 1 to 10, how excited you are. All right, guys, enough of that. Let's get to the show, and let's bring in everybody's favorite Floridian, Florida Cory. What's up, man?
I'm not Tim Tebow.
You think he's Ohio State? He is not Ohio State fans' favorite Floridian.
You said everybody's. You didn't say Ohio State.
Well, everybody on this channel. You are the favorite Floridian of. You are the official Floridian of Ohio State football. How about that?
It's either me or Zach Smith, I guess.
No, you are. I mean, you're a resident.
I know.
You're tried and true.
He recruited here, so he had
you're
more of an
tried
impact
and true. It is
time.
you. You own Florida.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Flesh and blood, Ohio State and Florida.
Well,
not a Gator fan though at all.
Yeah, it's probably not nicer there. It's 20 degrees or so here in Cleveland, so
that's a lot nicer here. Yeah,
yeah,
it's like 65 to 70. Yeah.
Well, speaking of a lot nicer, Cory.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We got a new O-line coach.
We do. It's almost like we were talking about him quite a bit, right?
We traded in our Malibu. Malibu's a fine car. A fine car. But I think we walked at, we didn't get the Camaro, but we got, a Super Sport, or didn't get a Corvette, but now we got a Super Sport Camaro, I think.
What would have been the Corvette?
What would have been the Corvette? I don't know, like the Justin Frye and the guy from Kentucky, and we fire Coombs.
And the guy from Kentucky.
Brent Venables is the defensive coordinator with Jim Knowles, and just
the guy from Kentucky, Eric Wolford, might be a fine coach, but he's only been there a year. People kept saying, "Look what Kentucky's been doing for years." No, John Charlman, who rest in peace, who died last year, was the guy who was the architect of that. So, doesn't mean Wolford's not good. I don't know if he is or isn't, but he's only been there a year. He might be very good. I like Justin Frye was a great pickup. Great pickup.
Friend of the show, Zach Smith, has been calling for it for 2 years. I texted him, Cory. I'm going to tell you. You mind if I look? This is going to be. I want to actually say where this. That's where the name came from. Me and him, I think we're talking about it.
I'm proud of myself. I tweeted about it 2 years ago.
You did. You did. I saw the timestamp, 2019, and what was it you said?
I said, even though he just got an extension and a raise and a promotion to offensive coordinator, I wouldn't be surprised if Justin Frye was the next guy for.
And what led you to say that?
They worked together at Boston College. It just made sense. We've talked about this. This is what coaches do. It's who they've worked with and who they trust. And Justin Frye is an up and coming 38-year-old. He's by the way 12 days younger than me. We were born the same month, same year. That's very, very important, obviously. Anyway, Yeah, they worked together when Boston. He was offensive line coach at Boston College when Ryan Day was the offensive coordinator. And guess what? They produced one of the most prolific run attacks in college football with Andre Williams, who's a Doak Walker winner,
And
and
Andre
2,000
Williams
yards.
is like kind of like a master teak stone, big, stiff,
Yeah,
strong, not a super agile guy,
didn't do
downhill
anything in the
guy.
NFL at all. Yeah.
Yeah. Matter of fact,
Now,
shout out to Chris Drew back in 2019 when he saw Master Teague run a while. He said, "Hey, he reminds me of this cat from Boston College," and he showed me the Andre Williams highlights. And I was like, they do run similar.
yeah, I mean, Chris and Zach got a great show over there. So I definitely, Menace of Sports, I always listen to them every morning. But
Yeah. I got it, Corey. It is
okay.
back earlier than I think November 30th. Yes, November 30th.
Mm-hmm.
I asked him. I said, "Was Steve Adazio?" I'm just here. I am just giving our text to the world, but I said, "Would Steve Adazio be a good line coach / run game coordinator?" And Zach says, "Oh, it'd be an okay hire, but the ego's an issue." I thought what you thought. Former coaches coaching together. Steve Adazio, I think, was at Florida with Zach and Ryan Day. And
well, Adazio was actually a big wig with Florida when Ryan Day was a GA. So.
Right. Urban wanted to leave him the program. Yeah. He was really high thought of. So I said, okay, so we need an ego-free guy, young, up-and-comer, or an older guy who just wants one last job for 5 years. And Zach just said, Justin Frye, done. And I said he would do it. And he said, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And that's way back, on the 30th. You've been calling to it for years. He's been saying it for weeks now, and he's always known.
Yeah, he's
Corey.
Well, it ain't I scooped Zach on that one. He's known. I mean, he's not.
Yeah. Corey, this is maybe why it wasn't the Corvette. This is maybe why Justin Frye's not the Corvette, because, and it's fair, but it's also not fair. People criticize that he is not recruiting that great. But I guess he would be the Corvette if, and some people do this. Some people do this rarely. They're at a school, right? And they punch way above their weight class. You know what I mean? It's rare, but sometimes
and oftentimes those guys can't develop for nothing.
It could be.
They're great salesmen, and they can't develop or coach.
And I can't name one off the top of my head, but I'm sure that it happens.
I think Franklin was kind of like that at Vanderbilt, James Franklin. I don't think he's necessarily a great coach, but he was a fantastic recruiter at Vanderbilt.
Was he punching above his weight with his classes?
He was pulling top 20, top 25 classes at Vanderbilt.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. That is pretty wild. So there you go. However, it'd be the Corvette if they could develop and recruit. But my thing is, Corey, the logo has a lot to do with it.
Of course.
Justin Frye didn't have one of these on his chest. You know what I mean? He didn't have one of those either. Maybe he was in California. So but people say I'm concerned about Justin Frye's recruiting class. And I'm like, well, Chip Kelly's a head coach. And we know he can recruit at a certain level. He's got acumen, right? UCLA as a whole wasn't exactly knocking classes out of the park. Your logo has a lot to do. I don't care how good of a recruiter you are.
I actually looked into this. The year before Chip Kelly got there, they had a top 20 class. And then after that, they've been in the 30 to 35 range. And it's true, Justin Frye's top-rated recruit ever is a 4-star kid. He's only got one 4-star kid in his all, but he's also come from Boston College, and now he's at UCLA with the Chip Kelly when they're a mediocre program.
I mean, here's one, Corey. Who did Jeff Hafley recruit at Ohio State, and who's he recruiting at Boston College? You take a dip.
Yeah, you do. And again, the brand sells itself. Let's talk about this. Urban Meyer, pretty good recruiter. Are we correct on this?
I believe he is known for such.
Yeah, known for such things. At Florida, one of the top-rated classes of all time before Bama finally beat it.
Were they good, talent-wise?
They were okay. Last I checked.
They put
just a couple of those little trophies, at the end of the year. And then of course at Ohio State, he put them in the top 2 to 3 every year.
Did they have pretty good players under him?
Nah. But that being said, you know what he did at Utah? And Utah being the brand it is?
Top 3 because he can recruit. So if it doesn't matter where you are.
Obviously. I asked Johnny this before the show, and I knew what it was. He said, what, 30 to 50 range? That would make sense. I actually think that's a good guess. But wrong. 61 and 90 were his class rankings at Utah. That's Urban freaking Meyer.
So Urban can't recruit?
Urban can't recruit. Why would you want him at Florida? He can't recruit.
Or the logo, a little bit of success has a lot to do with it. Justin Frye goes out and has a 1,100-yard rusher next year with that logo on your hat, on his hat, and his polo. The recruiting is going to be just fine.
Yeah, and let's talk about why Stud is probably gone. If you read Bill Green, and I do take Bill Green very seriously, it's not just him. I mean, we've talked to others. I'm not going to name names that don't really want to be named, that are really well known on the Buckeye beat. Who will tell you that he's a terrible recruiter, even though he's on 247 credited with some amazing recruits.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the starting five right now. You're like if I was a Texas A&M fan, right, and you told me, hey, our offensive line coach is not a very good recruiter, and I looked at your starting line, and I'd be like, what?
I remember telling Michigan fans Ed Warner cannot recruit, and yet he was listed on 247 as the Big Ten Recruiter of the Year twice. And look, Stud is credited with, let's just give you one example here, credited with Nicholas Petit-Frere. That was not Stud at all. I'm sure Stud talked to him, but that's probably about it.
Before they shut it down.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, he probably went in there, do you like pizza? And then they shut him up.
He did the hardball and took the hot dog out of his pocket and started eating it.
He just started eating a cold hot dog in front of him.
I mean, it's have you heard Zach's story about that, the Recruiter of the Year thing, where they called and changed it up on him? Yeah, so they will do that to make. I'll let you finish. Sorry for interrupting.
But what I'm saying is, like, that was obviously Greg Schiano who had a big hand in that. And Greg Schiano can recruit, for what it's worth. But that being said, it's like you're worried about Justin Frye's recruiting. My first thing, if we're going to hire him at this level, can he coach? I want a guy who can coach, and I know he can coach because the run game has improved everywhere he's gone, and UCLA included. The offensive line also is very good in not allowing sacks on top of that. His offensive lines are very good, even with the mediocre talent he gets. So he comes to Ohio State, he's going to be known. First of all, it puts you right in the spotlight immediately as a coach. You walk into a kid's high school, he ain't going to care if you never picked up too many 4-star kids. He's like, that guy's wearing Ohio State. He's a coach at Ohio State. He's a young guy who could relate to young guy. He played football in Indiana. So he can relate to young kids. At 38 years old, I don't feel so young. But anyway, that being said,
you think also spending a lot of time in Southern California helps recruit that area?
Not only that, but again, you get this reputation as a guy who could develop, and you have the brand behind you. I'm not even worried about it.
You know who you're describing is Larry Johnson. He has a logo. He's recruited well, and then he took that talent and did well with it, and now he can show guys. See,
Frye will be a head coach at some point. There's no doubt.
Yeah. That's the bad thing about this hire is it's 1 to 3 years. It's a 1 to 3 year hire. So but I'm not mad about that. That's sometimes the way the cookie crumbles.
I hope it's 3, but yeah. I was arguing with somebody on Twitter about this because they disagree with me about Stud's recruiting. I said, well, what's the future of the tackle position after DeJuan and Paris?
You have to hope Zed works out, and you have to hope Enoch Viamahi's there, and he works out. That's 2.
You got to hope George Fitzpatrick and Tegra Tshabola, or I think I said his name right. Who knows? Those guys were playing guard in the All-American game over the weekend. So I'm not necessarily sure they're the tackles of the future. Paris Johnson, the very clear left tackle of the future. Thank God he was an Ohio kid.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I hope Zen, I think his name's Zen. I hope he works out. He's an awesome kid. I spoke to him a little bit before social media. It's very cool.
I'm sure he's a good kid. I'm not saying terrible people.
I don't know. Now, this is good, Corey. If I would trust Justin Frye to develop those two names I named.
Yeah, but Johnny, we're Ohio State. We shouldn't be having question marks at one of the most important positions going forward. We should be able to land these guys.
2016 and taught us you
Yeah.
can't miss an O-line recruiting,
No,
especially 2 years in a row.
no, and listen, Donovan Jackson was a massive pickup. Nobody denies that.
But probably a guard.
He's a guard. He's going to be left guard next year. Maybe right guard. I don't know, but he'll be a guard. Maybe they'll try him at right tackle if DeJuan decides to go pro for whatever reason. But that being said, I mean, maybe when DeJuan's gone, they say, well, can we move him out to tackle because we ain't got a whole lot.
Yeah, I mean, transfer portal. You got to look there too.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have to. You see if you can pull a Jonah Jackson, but at the O-line position, yeah, he's gonna have to hit the streets quick.
Well, put a young guy like that who can develop players and has a really good reputation of developing good run games and having good pass protection, and give him, and then let him give him the logo here. Say, hey, put this on your shirt and go get him. And he ain't going to be able to pull any miracles before National Signing Day this year, but give him a year or two. Guarantee he's going to be pulling in more 4- and 5-star kids than he's ever even come close to doing.
Yeah, especially if you lob him a softball like they're a regional kid. In the footprint. And then, Cory, I think Stud was an okay recruiter and he was okay coach. But again, it's, with the back problems and the surgery, it's just not quite up to snuff. Yeah, it's not. I'm not bitter about him at all because there are some good things there. He did some good things. He did. 2019 was a nice,
outstanding offensive line that year.
Yeah, and he's at least helped recruit some really nice players. But it's time to move on. Mm-hmm. With these new improvement, Cory, real quick, this is what I'm looking for. Okay. I know you said you're looking forward to like just road graders like 2019. And also like, I mean, J.K. Dobbins was excellent, but man, there were some creases left for him at times. And kind of like, I think it was the Rutgers game, our offensive line looked. I want that consistently. I don't want Paris Johnson getting tossed like you did against Penn State, Nebraska, and such, where we can. Here's one, Cory. We have more than one, like this year, more than one running play instead of stretch zone over and over. Shout out again to Zach Smith for diagnosing that on film. I don't want to act like I'm a guru and take credit for things I didn't know before, but let's run more than one run look. Let's run some counters. Hey, Cory, how about this? You know what I'm looking forward to? Two things. We sell play action. Like, I mean, it's like you play somebody in basketball that has the worst shot fake ever and no one goes for it. That's our play action is trash, dude. You notice we don't.
It's like Shaq shooting a three, like pump action, all that.
Even the handoff is like, I'm like, you were never going to give him that ball. Selling play action without getting penalty for downfield. And how about this, Cory? In 2019, we saw it sprinkled in. I loved it from Ryan Day. Screens from time to time against overly aggressive
defenses. Especially a guy like Henderson.
Yes. Now, Zach has always said, like, you can't do a lot of screens unless you practice them 5 to 10 minutes every practice. It's hard for the offensive line to learn. Mm-hmm. If you have a good teacher, I'm looking forward to good play action and some screens from time to time. Won't that be nice? That Penn State can't just pin their ears back and blitz you to death.
I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to development of the mid-grade guys in the middle. I mean, I'm looking forward to a more – I mean, I've been hearing over the years where Kevin Wilson would have to step in and coach the offensive line a lot more just for in place of Stud, where Stud would run individual drills. Kevin Wilson would actually orchestrate it. I'm looking for a guy who can come in and orchestrate it and take that off of Kevin Wilson's plate.
What in the world will he do if literally all he's supposed to do is coach tight ends? He will be the highest paid guy. I mean, he probably had the best job in America.
I think having an offensive room with Brian Hartline, who just got promoted, obviously to make him more money, he deserved it. With Brian Hartline, who's going to be involved in that room now. We got Jeff Frye, Kevin Wilson, Ryan Day. That's a heck of an offensive mind trust right there.
It is. All right, Cory, we got to move on quickly. Yep. Other coaching names. We're not done. It looks like I just don't think there's any way this staff, what it looks right now, especially on defense, is the exact same staff going into next year.
I agree. We're hearing rumors that we're interviewing DB coaches right now. I'm not going to name names. I was asked to not name any names because there's actually a couple right now who probably shouldn't be interviewing. Let's be real.
Can you just tell us who they are?
I can tell you one is from the ACC.
Can you just?
Two of them actually from the ACC.
You don't have to give
all
his
of them
name.
are from the ACC.
Don't give their names. Just
No.
what's printed on their birth certificate.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I don't know if they changed their gender or not.
So we got. So what are we looking at? Defensive back guys, probably, right?
Yeah, I think it's a good, strong indicator that Coombs is obviously gone. And although the rumor was that Coombs was at the National Coaches Convention wearing the Ohio State brand, but it probably Taffer Johnson did the same thing before we let him go. So it's probably a way to keep that prestige and let them go out with dignity and see what other job offers are out there, type of thing.
Zach has been suggesting too that there's retirement. I think he was saying he's got an awesome lake house or country house in the woods, and
Probably got
I'm
plenty
like,
of money.
as soon as he said that, I was like, shoot, you know me, Corey. You give me a rustic getaway somewhere for retirement.
A few million in the bank, yeah.
I would be the worst Ohio State coach ever because after 2 years and that money banked, I'd be done. I'm telling you, I'd be in the woods fishing.
You'd like the friggin' position player would be like, Coach, you said you're going to coach me 4 years. I was like, that's before I got a $400,000 raise.
Yeah, I have a nice lake house on.
And I got a pension now from Ohio State.
I have a house on Lake Fork and a bass boat, dude. And sorry.
No, I don't even like you, to be honest.
But okay, so we're not naming names yet. We're just saying.
I'll say Gary Ayer's one of them.
Yeah, he's been named several times from Duke. Coached with Knowles before.
Yeah. But I was asked not to say anybody else, so I won't.
Okay.
But just know that there's definitely a process going on.
If I was a naysayer in the comments, I'd be like, "That's what you say when you don't actually have anything."
Fine. Thanks for helping the channel.
When Nevada's popping off that he's got information, but he won't post it yet, I always want to be like, well, just post it then if you have something.
Yeah. It's just like, can't wait to share this. Yeah.
I thought I thought I had a good thought. I'm like, when the news breaks, Corey, I'm going to just change your name in my phone to something and have you text me all that info, change your name to like Brian Hartline, and then just text me all that stuff. But
change it to Donald Trump.
Look, Donald Trump was giving me this information.
So
that okay. Hey, tell me twice. Name change in my phone. It won't be Florida Cory anymore. All right, Corey, one more thing.
Yep.
Boom. I shouldn't do that. I'll wake the child.
You hear the baby. Dang it.
My wife. Yeah, you'll hear my wife too.
She's gonna be coming there beating you like with a rubber hose.
Hero Canoe, defensive tackle, Corey.
You got that gun within range there.
It's to defend myself when I'm stupid. What do you think, man? Hero Canoe.
Great pickup. Yeah. I think it's showing that the rumors about Larry Johnson are a little premature. I don't think he's going anywhere. I don't think all these defensive line commitments are going, where'd you go? I mean, I think he's definitely sticking around.
Yeah, the thing we pulled with what's the new offensive line commit, to your point, had to be, hey,
that's what I was,
but we got a guy.
Hintzman,
but
Carson
that was
Hintzman,
weird. Yeah.
Hintzman, he was saying, I was taken aback, but no, you weren't. They told you it was coming. There's no way. In fact, we joked about it. It's probably why he committed. Like, Stud's gone? All right. Okay.
They would not have taken your commitment.
All he did was talk to me about pizza. It's weird. Anyway.
So this kid, what class, Corey, and what do you think of him?
2022 class, defensive tackle. Really nice. He's probably going to be a one tech. There's a great thing about him is like Tyleek Williams in a sense. He's going to a really athletic one tech.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe if somebody is more of a anchor and a little bit slower twitch,
I look at this guy as a future.
3 and this guy play 1.
I look at this guy as a potential, and I'm not saying he's going to get there. He could be a Christian Barrymore type. He's just so big. And he's so athletic. I mean, he could, even though he's like a 95, 96 rating, he's not that 99, 100, whatever rating. But I think with Larry Johnson's development, you're going to see him in year 2 heavily in the rotation as a guy who just stuffs the middle and he actually disrupts the pass game. I love this pick very much. The defensive line class with him, Kerry, Kenyatta Jackson, and Omario Barr, that's a heck of a freaking D-line class. We are reloading a defensive line.
We are. The pass rushers would be Curry and how do you say his name?
Jackson
Arbor?
and Bar are the pass
Jackson and
rushers.
Bohr. Okay, so you're
Curry figures
anchored
to
on
be a
the inside.
three-tech.
Okay, so you're anchored all the way, and you have the
You got
rush.
every single one.
I think
of them.
Bohr makes the class. Like without him, we're kind of like, who's the next?
I'd tell you maybe by ranking wise, but Jackson is so good. I think
You
that
think
guy's
so?
going to be really good. But
Okay.
I could see Caden Curry's going to be a problem. Every one of these guys are a problem.
Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing it. I can't wait, man. I'm so looking forward to see Sawyer in JTT next year. It's going to be there. You ever see, the movie Princess Bride, Cory?
And Cade Stover at that Leo spot.
There will be blood tonight, especially if Zach Harrison stays and we can kind of get him rejuvenated. Maybe
and Terrence
playing
Vincent
some
taking
Leo.
that next step.
Oh yeah,
Tyleek Williams,
Vincent and Williams in the middle.
Yep.
You got like a little NASCAR package with him, and it'll be great. It'll be great. Anything else before we let everybody go?
Nah, we appreciate y'all. You guys have been killing it for us. We can't thank you enough.
You really have. I mean, what if we've earned your subscription or a like on the video? Go ahead and slap that on there, guys. I hope you did comment. And comment anything you want. Let us know what you're thinking, especially your excitement on the new staff and these moves. Thank you guys so much. We will be back. Cory, I think you and Shane Larson will be back later in the week to discuss new Buckeye developments. As always, goodbye. God bless. And good luck.